What's up, everybody? How are you today? Can you hear me? You should say a thing in the chat if you can hear me.
Remember all those
I'll read
days
it
ago
40
when
seconds.
they couldn't hear us?
We had a rough time last week. That was a very rough start.
It probably couldn't have gotten worse unless like someone had died, but that's fingers crossed for this week.
Yeah, as far as things that involve any level of production go, I would say that last week's show was second only to that Spider-Man musical and maybe to Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, I mean, it's not too late. We can still try to like drop Bill Zoker from the rafters.
In its defense, Duke Nukem Forever did have sound.
Yeah, but they had 15 years to work on that, so.
Yeah, and they did say it would be done when it was done. They didn't say we're gonna go live in an hour, and then it didn't happen. So, anyway, here we are now, and we're doing our thing. And thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. As you can see, we're proudly supporting our Xboxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most American thing you can do because the PS4 is not made by Americans.
No.
It's made by not Americans, which are not as good as Americans.
Yes.
USA.
You can tell the Xbox is faster because it is larger and makes slightly more noise.
It is. It's a big
Actually,
black
I don't know
box.
that. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard them side by side.
Oh, I haven't heard them, but it is substantially
It is
larger.
definitely a larger box.
Yeah, Dale North in his I guess video reviews and stuff at Destructoid, he said that you need 15 inches of shelf space, like 15 inches deep, to be able to contain your Xbox One and its like cabling.
That's a lot of That's a
lot of inches.
They should have just had a built-in monitor, really. Anyway, we actually have some news today, I guess.
What?
You got your. I mean, yeah, I would say the biggest news. I mean, do you want to start doing this? Okay, so.
Oh God, we're gonna start out. We're coming in hot.
Yeah. So John Carmack has left id Software. He has departed from id Software. I guess you could say that he rage quit.
Yeah.
Okay, I started with the rage joke, but I mean, is the future of id Software, is it doomed?
Might be. He left to go work on the Oculus to quote focus all of his resources on Oculus. But I'm thinking there might be some element of like a rift between him and his former
and it's
comrades.
definitely sending some quakes throughout the entire gaming industry as people are. I'm so sorry. Why are we saying these words?
Yeah, I'm not keen on these jokes either.
Yeah, some of the folks at id thought that he just had too much ego to work with. Zing! That was a Freud joke.
I don't even know how much longer can we do this? That was like 7 or 8 in a row.
One of his coworkers called him a real Wolfenstein. Okay. Yeah, what do you make of this?
It's really interesting to me. I mean,
Id or it?
Wow, both.
Okay.
We're gonna pretend. Id is really interesting to me as a whole. I actually recently read the id biography book called Masters of Doom, and that's super interesting to see. Like they were so important to games, but they haven't really done anything in the last like couple years. I mean, we had Rage, but Rage was kind of middle of the road. Yeah. It was more technical than like it should have been. Like the tech part of it was really cool with like the hyper textures and everything.
Yeah, and they had, I mean, the id Tech 5 has been kind of in the works for God knows how long, and I mean, when that thing shows up, it could very well, blow Crytek out of the water as the prettiest looking thing that you can shove inside a $10,000 gaming rig.
But yeah, it's weird to see this kind of thing. Like they've, I guess, kind of fallen off of their relevancy. Like they were the game studio from like 1993 to like 2003.
Yeah. I mean, shit changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to see what this means for the Rift.
It's crazy.
The Oculus Rift is such a strange thing because, I mean, when did that first show up? It's been a year and some change, maybe.
Yeah, for like a year and a half, somewhere around there.
And they've already managed to go from they've doubled the resolution. They've made these demo units. They've gotten it, in the hands of developers. We see robot hand job machines people have made. There's all these crazy game jams. There's all these, demos. There are already games that are compatible with this device, and it's not even out yet.
It's not out yet. They're getting major developer support. Like Valve is supporting it with the Source Engine, which is huge.
Yeah. At the same time, Valve also said that I think they have their own VR headset that they want to debut in January. I read that somewhere.
See that I'm not super into because I like that Oculus is VR for now.
Yeah.
And then as it gets bigger and we kind of figure out what VR can do, then we can expand.
The more devices we have, the more of a problem we're going to have. That's I think the problem that happened kind of in the beginning there was a whole bunch of different people trying different things.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Oculus though. Like I got to play with it. It's really cool.
It's a rad thing. Carmack said apparently that he doesn't see it working with the PlayStation 4.
Which is, it's very interesting to see this kind of thing because we've talked about, or a lot of people have talked about previously that they don't think it's going to be able to work on consoles. So I don't know if that's like a technical limitation or if it's just like a licensing thing. I don't know. I want to believe that everybody can have VR because it's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing is really important is that as long as I can get the robot handjob machine, then everything's going to be great.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why people have PCs.
I think, what's weird is people keep making, I get mixed up the demands people have for games. They're like, I want this game for the Rift. And it'll be stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like, they'll be like, I want this top-down game in the Rift. I'm like, why? What? There's no camera, you know? Like,
no, it has to be
Angry Birds on the
game,
Rift. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. I'd be down for like a Mirror's Edge on the Rift. I think that'd be
awesome.
awesome.
I think that CD Projekt Red has been saying that they're going to do stuff on the Rift. They're like, yeah, Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. Which,
weird.
I mean, I guess it could be first person theoretically, but I don't know.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense in first person, but anything else, I'm like, that makes no sense. Because the first time I played it, afterward, it was like a really early one. It was at E3, like not this year, but last year.
Yeah.
After the game was done, the demo, it just kicked me back to the menus, and the menus and like static things look so weird on the Oculus. Like I can't imagine a 2D game would work on that in any real way.
It's a strange thing, but I mean that's exciting to see. I will say that Palmer Luckey, the inventor of the Oculus, was one of my favorite people to interview. He's he's a genius boy. He's amazing. I've interviewed him a few times, and he's just so enthusiastic. I think the last question I interviewed him at PAX, and the last question I asked him was, "Are you excited for the Nintendo 2DS?" And he went into this like crazy rant about how he actually is really curious about it. He wants to get one and take it apart and look at it. I'm like, okay. I was joking because you make a VR headset, but okay, you're interested in this.
I like things, I guess. Yes. I mean, I like the 2DS because it's a thing that I can put Mario on, but I guess to each their own.
No, and Palmer's like, he wants to play Pokemon on the Oculus Rift. He's like, he's wonderful.
Oh my God,
big
please. I can't, now that you've put that in my head, I can't think of many things that I want more than that.
I think that would be kind of a nightmare, actually.
Well, I mean, a lot of Pokemon things could be nightmarish.
I would say any game where really, I wouldn't really want to be in the Pokemon world. They got bees the size of dogs there.
Bees that have weapons
cone
on their
arms.
hands.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, you'll be trying to go to work and there's a big unconscious bear blocking the way that won't move unless you get a magic flute.
Yeah, I feel like that world works if you have nothing to do, but like if you're trying to go somewhere, it'd be awful.
I don't know how they have an economy.
Oh, God, no.
So, someone said our TV is off center. Shut up. Look at just, what is wrong with you?
Doritos in America.
Yeah. Love it or leave it, man.
So speaking of Dorito Americas, the X-Bone's out today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep calling it the X-Bone, which apparently that's passe now. For a while, it was the cool and like, I don't know, seditious thing you could say, and now it was like, it's stupid and whatever. I like it. I like the title. But yeah, it's out today. You getting your hands on one?
No. I will say I'm not crazy about. I'm not really stoked for one. I don't really want a PS4 either. I was saying this last week. The Xbox actually does have games out that I want to play. I'm dying to play Killer Instinct, but I don't have a 15-inch deep cabinet. That's deeper than my apartment. I don't, you know.
You live in a cardboard box though.
I need a very long, narrow console, like a sound bar, but
4 inches by like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Basically just like a person-shaped one.
No, I mean there's a bunch of games. One game that I guess we can talk about is Sunset Overdrive, which is the game that makes me want an Xbox real bad, even though I have no idea what the hell it's about. If you missed it, they showed off a very exciting CG trailer. I think it was at E3.
Yeah.
That looks like if
Overstrike was a thing still?
It looks like if Overstrike was a Tang commercial.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane, and they've said a lot of really like weird stuff about it. Like back because it first got announced.
It changes with you. The experience changes as you play the game. So
yeah. So when they first showed it off, it was back when the Xbox had all the terrible like online-only DRM business, and so a lot of their interviews at the time were like, "Oh, we have all these cool online features. So like everybody's always online with that game, no matter what." And you just kind of deal with it and you shoot, but it's the city, like you're playing with all your friends, kind of like an MMO. But they've also said they want to include pop culture moments, which is their term, not mine, which is really weird and strange to me. But I'm really excited in that like you guys can see, it looks good and silly.
It's
got colors in it.
It looks like just all the grossest things about television commercials in the 90s, which oddly enough is the same reason I like Killer Instinct.
Yeah,
I need a game to shout at me to tell me how good it is. I need a game that periodically just goes ultra.
That like
Cool.
kick flips over your consciousness.
Awesome combo.
Sends you to the.
You're having fun now.
Could we just get you like a Max Scoville voice pack for things?
God, I would love that. I'd like to hear a conversation between the NBA Jam announcer, the Killer Instinct announcer, and the Unreal Tournament announcer.
I'm hoping so. I mean, I will always have a special place in my heart for the Halo announcer. It's a little more subdued, but I think it could be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I just the Killer Instinct guy just goes into like a Jack in the Box, and he's like, "Oh, ultra combo."
That joke. One of my favorite things is he yells "monster," and then he's like, "Monster." I'm like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that game is so stupid.
No, it's like
they teased Fulgore.
They did.
I got all excited. I'm like, oh my God, Fulgore's in Killer Instinct, and Bill Zoker goes, well, where else would he be?
Yeah,
which is a really great response to that because, like what else is Fulgore gonna be in? Like,
space.
Like the next, I don't know, the next Christopher Nolan movie, like. Christopher Nolan's in a
I would play a Christopher Nolan fighting game.
He's in an upcoming Benjamin Franklin biopic. I don't know why, but
okay, I would play.
So yeah, breaking news: Fulgore is going to be in Killer
Benjamin
Instinct.
Franklin biopic. One thing that's weird to me is, do you remember how many characters were in the original Killer Instinct?
Ultra? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, because there are 8 starting out right now, and there's I think 4 more for DLC. Can we confirm that? A lot more.
There's a lot. They're gonna keep
a lot more.
That,
and then there's season 2. So like, how many characters do they have?
I actually really love they're doing this way because if you keep track of those, I've at this point started filtering them out. But announcements of not even DLC, but just I guess
season passes,
re-releases of fighting games. Like how many versions of Dead or Alive 5 have come out?
Of 5?
How many versions
3.
of Street Fighter 4 have come out?
I think 5.
Yeah.
Well, there's what? There's Street Fighter, Super,
and they're adding new characters.
Arcade 2013,
that's still
and now Ultra.
That's still a retail game. That's still a package thing. And I mean, I know that you think that it's kind of chintzy to buy like characters one at a time.
So I like the idea of adding characters. I'm not a big fan of this new Street Fighter model in that it's like every year or every 6 months, if it's the case of Marvel, you get more characters, but they're charging you a full-priced game. I really liked what they did with the arcade edition, where if you already had the game, $15, you get the characters, you go to the balancing, boom, done. $15 is fair to me. $15 for 4 characters of balancing, great. Or if you didn't have the game already, $40, and you get all that on one disc. Like that worked fine for me.
I don't know. I just think I'd say that Killer Instinct is, it's like a gradual incline as far as like kind of accessing it versus spending money on it. You know. I feel like a lot of free-to-play games, it's like you go and then it's bonk, and then you kind of have to. There's like I mean, literally like a paywall. Like you hit something, you reach something, and they're like, oh, this is the part where you have to give us money, and then meanwhile with retail stuff, it's like you have to
jump over the wall, and then it's just smooth sailing.
The paywall is just buying the game, but in this case, it's like. You can download it and you're like, oh, I can play as Fulgore this week. Fulgore is in Killer Instinct. Oh God, I'm so excited for Fulgore.
I thought that for Killer Instinct it was 2 free characters. I thought it was like Saberwolf.
Is it 2? Yeah, I mean I think
it's the same every week, or is it
different? It rotates.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And they've got different packages. And
it
was one of those things like I could tell that the guy when I was talking to him at PAX or E3 or whatever the hell it was, he sounded really like he just sounded so like dirty, like he was so ashamed of himself, like he was in a job interview and he hadn't finished college. It was like that kind of like he's sort of like he, it didn't mean he wasn't qualified for the job, but there was something he was a little bit. Yeah, and I was like, so wait, how's it gonna work? Like, and he's like, well, $20 you can get 8 characters, and if you want to get the full thing, you get the season pass, and it's $60. And I'm like, so you get like a full game for $60, or if you want to just have a fun game of skeleton versus werewolf with your dumb friends, you pay $20, and that's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing. I was looking at because everybody in my house right now is nuts for it. Like I live with Phil from the live channel and Abel, who's a contributor to DTOID. So everybody is stoked. Like it's nuts. And I'm looking like, so what do you get when you buy like the $40 or $60 versions of the game, and you get extra clothes for your characters? Like that's the big difference between like 40 and 60.
I thought that was real stupid. And then I saw Jago wearing a mask, and I was like, whoa!
I mean, he
looks like Samurai Spawn. And then I realized that I'm still in 1996.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm wondering what they're gonna do in order to like keep adding this value to it, because otherwise it's just like, oh, I get some pants, I guess. Like, and I mean, it's $60 you get.
How much
Penny
money
Arcade
would
pins.
you just throw at that if Rare started like rolling out old Rare characters? Like if you're just like, oh hey, guess what? Banjo-Kazooie's in it, or oh, you can be a Battletoad.
I would be excited, but scared, because Rare that made those games is not the Rare we have now.
I don't give a shit.
You just want Banjo-Kazooie to like
Just
punch a
imagine
skeleton.
Fulgore and Battletoads fighting.
Yeah, I'm
Rash,
down.
zits, and pimples or whatever.
I
Blemish.
should probably get a copy of that game. I wonder if GameStop has it. So we should probably continue talking, in that we're halfway through the show. We talked about
I was
two
going to tweet
things.
this out.
Let's
Let's go to the chats.
We're talking chat? Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Chat, what is going on? We
What are
got
they saying?
some Spanish stuff. Talking about
Spanish
Terra. I'm not Terra. I'm still not Terra.
Terra, yeah.
When did Terra grow a beard? Terra had the work done, baby. You know how
Turns
it
out
go.
that Terra was emitting these nanomachines that made everybody think that she was a beautiful lady, when in fact,
It's just me.
this awful man was here. We updated our firmware, and the nanomachines no longer work.
I'm like the iOS 7 of DTOID show hosts.
We've switched everything to Helvetica. Unfortunately, this is what Helvetica looks like in person. Yep. Sorry, no more bevel effect. It's just all. Yep.
That's
Furry,
terrible.
Furry man.
Furry man. I'm getting some. It looks like Pompino Voglio
it
Italian
is.
stuff in here. I don't know what that means.
Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I love that there's a very noticeable lag here.
There is an insane amount of lag. Like this
Yeah.
has been the same comments that we've seen for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So.
Oh, so this is a good question. JBro1806 asked, "What happened to that DTOID shirt you made?" We should probably break the news. So that live stream we were doing tomorrow, there was going to be the one day where you can get that cool ass T-shirt that I made. We're pushing that back a week because apparently the T-shirts we couldn't get them made right or
Well,
something.
the guy forgot how to make T-shirts, so we took him to the library.
Huge bird
and-
came, just the biggest bird.
So big.
Like, have you ever seen anime? Because it was like the birds from that. It was just one of the really big ones.
That's
I might be
scary and
thinking of the
exciting.
Rescuers Down Under. A golden eagle stole the shirts.
Yes.
So the point of my story is, we're gonna push that. So live stream maybe the next following weekend.
We'll let you guys
see.
know.
We'll
There'll
keep
be a
you
post up
posted,
on
yeah.
DTOID. You can find out. We're not gonna make it a secret, guys. Like we're not gonna sneak be like, oh, we got this, guys.
We might have a secret thing.
Pull it. There will be secret things.
Oh yeah, have you heard about
Oh, yeah.
Huge? You should sign up for Huge. It's a premium service over at Destructoid.com. It's like
You need to
it's
pick
like
up the ball
free-
because I've been promoting it for like 8 weeks. So I can,
$3 a month, or just $30 a year. Is that it?
yeah,
$30
it's
a year.
$249 a month if you get it for a year. You get ad-free browsing on the site. You get HD views of the site, including the WorkSafe Googtoids. It's like it looks like Gmail.
Jonathan Holmes is doing a
pretty
new
cool.
show.
Yeah, that's the
So,
big kicker.
you know,
So
yeah.
I don't know how much we're supposed to say, but there is huge exclusive content on the horizon.
Do you want to see the emails that are the reason that Jim Sterling no longer works at Destructoid? Because we have them with the photos attached.
Also, you can customize your backgrounds, so you can do like naked John Holmes pictures for the
true?
background. Yeah.
Wow.
You can put anything in
You
the
can get
background.
some clothes for Jago.
You can do all kinds of stuff.
Okay, anyway.
It's pretty sexy.
Yeah, sorry.
a little extreme.
Let's talk about some news. We got some news still.
Yeah,
right?
let's. So I have not bought a PS4 yet,
Uh-huh.
and neither of you. But if you wanted a new one, you could buy it in a bundle now with the Vita coming out this holiday season.
This seemed like kind of an inevitable thing. This is,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with all the, I guess it's like a really, it's like a, they should call it the Wii U HD. I'm
Pretty
sorry,
much.
that was a low blow. But really, this is, for all the remote play stuff that we're kind of seeing gradually trickle out. If you look at this channel, Dale North put up a lovely, like, 27-second long video of how remote play works with the PS4. And it's so refreshing because, as near as I can tell, it works exactly as they told us it would back at the, initial reveal of the PS4. They just, you push a thing and then the thing happens, and all of a sudden you're taking a shit and playing some Assassin's Creed. So
Yeah, it's really easy. Like you hit. There's a new app on your Vita. You hit
Yeah, you
that. You
type in
go
a
to the
number.
settings on PS4,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you type in a number that pops up. It takes about 15 seconds.
I would,
It's
yeah,
really
I mean,
nice.
it seems easier than like even pairing with Smart Glass. I mean,
Oh
that
my
was
God,
with
yeah.
last gen stuff, but
No, it's
yeah.
fantastic.
So that's
it's really
rad.
cool. So if you guys want, it does have
Do we have a price point for this?
We don't.
This is like a leaked photo that showed up. This is
Yeah,
like
we
one of
don't
those-
have a price point, but it will contain the current model Vita, so not the new one that we got out of what is it, TGS this year when they got announced
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's not that. Guess they're just gonna clean out all the ones they have. But I really like my Vita. We both have Vitas.
Yeah.
We're the like 2 of the 8 people on Earth.
Guys, Vitas are pretty cool, and I think they're only about to get cooler.
Yeah, you can play Hotline Miami and Spelunky.
You could play Assassin's Creed while you're taking a shit.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
This is, I suppose, the difference between me and like the entire other end. I'm like, indie games, and you're like,
I was actually thinking about it.
Assassin's Creed.
And I'm holding off on PS4 until there's like some other games out. I'm thinking maybe Octodad is going to be my killer app for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's out. I'm going to go buy the thing. When Destiny is out, and the first time I play that on remote play, I think I want to have a bottle of champagne while I'm just sitting there and be like, I'm playing Destiny while taking a shit, and just, you know, just have like a Pelican case in the bathroom with like a bottle of champagne in it. Just like
do Pelican cases still exist? Is the real question.
Probably,
here.
I don't know.
I haven't seen one in years, but I'm also not 13, so I don't need to worry too much about that.
But yeah, that's exciting. What else is happening? We got this. This is a good one. This is a fun story.
So I kind of went nuts yesterday. If you guys didn't watch the last episode of the Core Live, I went nuts because about 10 minutes before we had to go live, I found out that Telltale Games, you know, the people who made all those greats like Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, and then their stuff that was less great, they're working on a Game of Thrones game. And I'm really stoked. Like I called it it was about a month and a half back. I'm like, I really want Telltale to make a Game of Thrones game. Like they've got a pretty good handle on writing. They're not afraid to kill characters, and they pay attention to, I guess, what people want and what would work for their games. And then about 3 weeks back, they're like, hey, we got access to one of our dream IP. And I was like, I hope that's Game of Thrones. And then boom, Throne games on my games. It's the Game of Thrones game.
I gotta say, I'm sort of, I don't know, I'm wary. I'm very wary of this.
Yeah.
There's a thing that could happen. They could totally pull a Walking Dead and have it be totally not, it could be the thing based on the source material, having nothing to do with what's-her-face's breasts in the television show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That is a very distinct possibility. Because you were saying before that you hadn't played Wolf Among Us.
No, I haven't messed with that yet.
And so I have played Wolf Among Us, and one of the things that kind of upsets me is that what I liked a lot about Walking Dead is that it was totally side story. Like there was no
that's a good point.
No tie-in. But Wolf Among Us, it's the same characters from the first couple of issues of the comics.
So it's doing that thing where you're
early.
like, I don't like how he portrayed them.
Well, there's that, and then there are events that so there's a thing that happens, without spoiling anything, there's a thing that happens in the first episode of the game that they totally explain away in the first issue of the comic. So I'm like, well, this has no meaning to me anymore.
Okay.
So
how about this? How cool would it be if it was straight up just a medieval Leisure Suit Larry with Tyrion? It's just Peter Dinklage just
dicking down everything,
blazing a trail of muff through the brothels of. What's it called? Grand Sis, Temeria. I get all the guys.
I wanted to call it Stormwinds, but I know that's not right.
Skyrim, I guess. I don't know.
Skyrim, I'd play that.
Storm Cloud, Storm Strife, Cloud Strife.
I know there's a big map in the beginning of the show, and so that's.
I hate that intro. I love that show so much.
It's a minute and a half long.
It is the worst intro, and that music sucks. And that guy who does the music, he's the one who did the music for Pacific Rim, which was great.
Yeah.
But that's only because Tom Morello was there. That's a tangent. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of. We were talking about this. I'm weird about Telltale games. I played Walking Dead. I get why it was a big thing, why people were stoked on it. I feel like because it's an adventure game, and I grew up, playing LucasArts kind of point and click stuff. Seeing that kind of simple, fairly simple type of gameplay carrying over to a modern day situation and not really being more complicated mechanically. I mean, you can roam around a little bit, but you still are going pick up item.
And I mean, by default, it has the big ass white circles. Where it's click on that thing. So there's not a lot of hunting around for stuff. It's pretty much just you moving things.
Something about it doesn't sit right with me, and to the point where I'm fairly lukewarm about picking up Walking Dead Season 2. I'm curious about The Wolf Among Us, and I really respect what they're doing because they clearly have a lot of respect for for the source material.
Oh yeah.
And I love the idea of comics and video games kind of fusing together to become this thing. I just think that it needs to be. I wish it was just a sniggle bit more game, and a little bit more interesting mechanically. Maybe some puzzles.
Yeah.
It's
more to do.
Trade a rubber monkey or rubber chicken for a pulley, and then use it to go across the thing, and then go to the big top tent.
Shot out of
Monkey
a cannon.
Island. Yeah.
I know that one. So one thing you should do though, check out the opening theme to Wolf Among Us. It sounds like halfway between the Drive soundtrack and Hotline Miami. So it's really good.
I'm sold. I'll check that out. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and it is Westeros. Chat is yelling. Every single person is yelling that Westeros is where it takes place.
Sorry, guys. I was too busy banging out with my lady woman when we were watching that show, because that's what couples do.
I actually had the same experience. So.
Two things happen when you become an adult: is you watch Game of Thrones and you drink wine, and then you have sex. I guess I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to be an adult. I want to make a ball pit in the bathroom.
I want that Leisure Suit Larry with Tyrion. I think it'd be
yeah,
great.
that'd be really fun. So we were supposed to talk about several more stories, and we have to leave in a few minutes. But
oh, damn, time flies when you're talking about Tyrion Lancaster. Lancaster.
Lannister. I'm gonna preempt some internet anger, and we're just gonna call it Lannister. So we can just, I guess, speed run through these last couple of
Crash
stories.
Bandicoot has escaped from his cage and is running loose in downtown San Diego.
It's terrifying.
Not
if you
true.
have loved ones in San Diego, get them indoors quickly.
No, what's the story with Crash Bandicoot?
So leading up to the
it right there, but I
PS4,
want
you
you to
can. I'll tell you. So leading up to the PS4's launch, Sony was doing like all these big trailers. Was like, oh, look at all these IP that have been on PlayStation consoles in the last 20 years.
Noticeably absent was a certain Mr. Bandicoot, a Mr. Crash Bandicoot.
Whoa, except that he wasn't. He was an Easter egg. Like if you look in one of the background frames, he's kicking it. At least I assume he's kicking it, because I feel like Crash Bandicoot always kicks it.
Yeah.
And that gets a little bit tastier. That was happened a couple weeks back, but just this week, the Crash Bandicoot website got taken down by malicious hackers or somebody. We don't know who, but all of the references to Activision, who owned the, or at least we assume owned the Crash license up until now, they've been removed. So maybe Sony bought it back. Is the current rumors, the current theories. But,
I'm so down. I don't actually really like the Crash Bandicoot games, but I really like Crash Bandicoot as a concept. I support Crash Bandicoot. I believe in
You like
Crash
furries and
Bandicoot.
jorts, is what you're saying.
I think that Crash Bandicoot is the closest legitimate, actual existing character we have to Poochie from The Simpsons. He comes out in his jorts and he's like, "Wah!" And then he does, "Wah!" You know. Like
What about Poochie from Yoshi's Island?
Oh, that doesn't count at all.
Doesn't count at all.
But Boshi from Super Mario RPG. What did you do?
I didn't touch anything, which
broke
I mean,
the thing. All right, before our taco disappeared, bring it back.
I'm trying.
Good God,
Don't
look
worry,
what
buddy.
you did. You've exposed our infrastructure.
Oh no,
It's a Chromecast.
Talk about Tomb Raiders.
Yeah, so chances are they're probably going to make another Tomb Raider game. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I actually dug up a choice quote for this. If you'd like to hear my USGA choice quote.
Oh God.
Brian Horton, the senior art director on the game, says that it will be, quote, Lara's next chapter of development, end quote.
So it's not going to be a pre-prequel, is what they're getting at.
Yeah, no, that seems like the least effective sentence that I've ever heard in my life. Like they're like, yeah, it's a sequel. It's going to continue the story. Like, yep. Yeah. That is what I expect out of a sequel.
I mean, I'm down. There's also the kind of the whispers of a next-gen. I almost said Crash Bandicoot, and I just gonna drift.
Well, there are whispers of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, but I mean, I've noticed this about Square Enix's kind of recent games is that you look at the PC versions and they're super gorgeous. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, Sleeping Dogs, Hitman, Tomb Raider, all of those. Like
Tomb Raider has new.
One
thing, the hair physics is by ATI, who makes the embedded chipsets for the PS4 and the Xbox One. So we will probably be seeing Tress effects.
What if they made just it comes with a pack of like conditioner and the case just has a ponytail on it and a little hairbrush, like a Barbie horse adventure kind of thing? Like,
I would buy that. But one thing we didn't mention about this is that all of this is going to come to a head at the VGXs. So that's when we're going to find out.
Yeah.
They said they're announcing the sequel at the VGXs this year. So I guess stay tuned to those. Is on what, the 9th of this next month? I don't know.
We'll just go on Twitter when everyone's really mad about it and they're all like, "This is stupid. Why are the Black Eyed Peas here? They don't play games except for the Black Eyed Peas experience, which they made themselves."
Dude, they didn't make it. They were just in it, dog. They lived it.
Will.i.am coded that. And that one fellow who looks like a Native American.
Apple Diap.
Is that his name?
I think so. I don't know.
Christ.
I feel like it might be. But so one thing, little tidbit. Last year we made a drinking game out of the VGAs, and it was terrible because we both blacked out, Phil and I. And it was take a shot every time you sigh. And
Wow.
then Linkin Park played, and we took about 8 shots in 2 minutes before we said,
So
nope,
I actually-
nope.
I went to the VGAs one year.
How'd that go?
So I was there. I was in the crowd.
Did you play the drinking game at the
I
VGAs?
tried. They have drink service, and they're bringing by drinks and tiny little hamburgers and like these things that are just, they're like packing materials you dip in cheese. I think I had like 6 whiskey cokes and just nothing. But
So they're actually serving you water.
I think it was whiskey flavored soda.
Ah.
Because they know that if My Chemical Romance is playing, someone is going to try to kill themselves. And I tried, or at least I just tried to get drunk enough that they sounded like a different band. But, you know, alas.
It was to no avail.
Yeah. So anyway.
So I feel like we're kind of going over our time, but I feel like we should at least answer a few more questions just from the chat.
Yeah, real
just
quick.
So we let everybody know that we do love them. Let's see here. I'm not seeing too many questions in here. People are just talking about...
They say I've gone insane.
That is not a...
I have shingles, okay?
Yeah.
I have local shingles in my area. Hot shingles.
Oh, Fazunga says that Telltale should try out Aliens. I think that could be an interesting kind of combination there.
Yeah,
Maybe? Not down?
I want to see survival horror or a shooter.
So you think like if they were to do like the Evil Within but Aliens-y?
For Alien, for the first one, yeah. Anyway, what should we tell them? We're not going to do a live show next week because it's Black Friday and...
We're just running this thing out. Yeah, no live shows for, I believe, next week for... none of the ones that I'm on, none of the ones that you're on.
Yeah.
So you won't see us next week. We're going to go eat food and be fat and probably buy some really stupid things on Black Friday.
Yep, I'm gonna wait for Cyber Monday because it sounds cooler, but...
It does, and you can like stay at home and day drink in your pajamas. So
Yeah.
that's always
Well,
that's the best way
really
to buy
just
things.
regular Monday. Question for you guys: what kind of stuff do you want to see on this channel? That's a legitimate, honest question. We're still obviously kind of piecing things together and sort of trying new stuff out. We almost have a sofa. There's a piece of tape below the camera that you are looking at us from that just says, "Imagine a sofa here." So that's where we are at in terms of studio setup. So it's a work in progress, but
we're tricking people into thinking it's a studio, but
thank
it's
you
really
all
not.
for tuning in and hanging out. It's a lot of fun. I have a blast doing this. Thank you for joining me, Spencer.
Oh, Max,
where can
do it anytime.
these people find you? These things
These
with eyes and mouths
eyeball
and fingers.
people.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Well, I do a lot of things. I mean, the easiest way is Twitter. My Twitter is @SPNKR. But if you like listening to me talk with words, I am on our Twitch channel, DTOID.tv, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time on a show called The Gentleman's Club. And it's pretty silly. We play video games, and sometimes we take off our shirts.
Right on.
So where can they find you on the internet, Max?
I'm part of a superstar, awesome time, great popular podcast called The Comedy Button, which is me and Scott Bromley of Rev3 Games and Brian Altano of IGN and Anthony Gallegos of Zombie Studios, makers of Blacklight Retribution, a great free-to-play game for your PlayStation 4 owners, and Ryan Scott, who is just like a mysterious wizard man.
I never could figure out what he did.
I've known him for years, and I don't know. Anyway, go check that out. That's just thecomedybutton.com or Comedy Button on iTunes. Yeah, we're doing some stuff. What you'd like to see from DTOID, leave it in the comments. I'll probably ask this later, but taking suggestions, ideas.
Oh, yeah. Everybody should probably subscribe to the channel, though, if you want to see
Yeah.
some more business like this. If for some reason they're watching this right now, if you guys can hear me and you haven't subscribed, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's right there. It's like, whenever we do stuff, whenever we, like,
Let's close things
videos
out with a
go up.
nice salute. to
Oh,
this
my.
guy.
All right.
Are we plugging Twitch still?
We are plugging Twitch. So
Didn't
after
he
this...
Didn't he plug Twitch? Oh, what's
I
happening on
plugged-
Twitch?
Yeah. The Clubhouse. Oh, that's right. We got a couple things right now going on. As of 4 minutes ago, we have King Foom on our Twitch TV channel, dtoid.tv or twitch.tv/Destructoid. He's playing the new Xbox One that just came out last night.
What's
it's
he
gonna be
playing?
pretty big. He's focusing on Killer Instinct because
Yeah!
he is super into that
I
game.
hear that has Fulgore in it. You guys should go check it out.
Actually, it doesn't.
Fulgore's
They haven't
not out
put it in
until
it,
March.
so-
But if you want to see Jago with or without funny clothes, you can go see that.
And you can see Glacius Ice Effect. Which
Glacius
is
looks
rad
wonderful.
as
It's
hell.
great, yeah.
And so one other thing that I was mentioned
And
by our lovely
Saberwolf.
producer, Bill Zoker. So myself and my lovely co-host, Philanthropy, will be on this channel doing some live business, not next week, but the week after, called Phil and Spencer's Video Game Clubhouse, which is a working title, but I'm pushing for it to be there. We're going to have some guests. We're going to play some games. It'll be rad. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this and check out Destructoid.com/huge if you want to, like, buy us an e-beer.
An e-beer, yes.
It's like a real beer, but you can't get drunk off of it.
Yeah, if you guys were frustrated at the sort of tedious goofing around we're doing, it's because we're having fun, man.
Fun is a thing that people enjoy.
It's hard out there for people in this industry that keep releasing video game consoles.
Oh, God. I realized I woke up today and I'm like, God damn it, I have to go to work and talk about video games. My life is the worst.
I wish we could just make throw blankets of this. I wish we were like just a...
Is there a website where you can make throw blankets?
I don't know.
Because I want this.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. We
Let's
should
go.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you. I'll see you around.
Later, guys.